Hi everyone, it's Chris here from the Southwest Shooters, and in today's video, which is made in collaboration with my friends at Crackshot in Newton Abbot, I'm going to be comparing and contrasting two guns. So we have the Walther Rotex RM8, this is Professor Ballinger's gun, and we also have the BSA Ultra CLX. And I want to talk to you about some of the differences between the guns, where one is better than another in certain respects, and at the end of the video, once I've shown you some data on the two guns, I'll even make a suggestion as to which one that I prefer. I'd like to just point out at the start that it's going to be impossible to talk about every single component of these guns. I'm not going to be delving deep down into the technical specifics, such as the foot poundage and those sorts of things. I'm going to be talking about more of a utilitarian approach, how they feel for me, and the sort of groups that I get. So both of these guns hold a similar place in the market, I think. They are of similar price, and they are of similar quality. But there are some differences, and you might be wanting to think about these if you're making a purchase yourself. So here's the big thing. I don't consider the BSA Ultra to be the same as the RM8 in terms of the groups that you can get. For me at least, I think they're designed to do different things. This is more of a sporting gun, and the RM8 is more of a target gun, in my opinion, although they can be used for different disciplines. So what I mean by that is the groupings differ in both the guns. And what I'm going to show you now is me using both the guns at 30 meters to begin with. So let's have a look at that data first of all, and then we can talk about it. At 30 meters, the difference in grouping between these two guns is negligible. It's very, very small indeed. In fact, I would say they're almost identical. However, if we take it back to 40 meters, it becomes apparent that there is a difference in the size of the groups between the two guns. I'm going to show you that data now so you can have a look. Now, that's significant. The RM8 is tighter at 40 meters than the BSA Ultra. That's not to say that the BSA Ultra is bad. It just means that the RM8 is tighter. But I think this hints at some of the major distinctions between the two guns. I feel very comfortable using the Ultra offhand. It's very, very pointable and very, very easy to hold. I can't do that as well with the RM8. It's far too heavy for me. I don't feel comfortable holding it for any length of time offhand. It's very, very heavy. I would begin to shake too much. And this points to one of the biggest distinctions between the gun, and I'm going to refer back to what I said earlier. The Ultra can be used for sporting purposes. The RM8, for me anyway, is not really intended for that. I think that the RM8 is better suited as a quote-unquote target rifle. But let's go into some of the specifics for a second. Let's talk about some of the actual characteristics of the gun and just discuss them. So, in terms of the shot count, the RM8 has it. You can get roughly twice the shot count per fill from the RM8 that you can the CLX. And it's about 120 shots in the RM8 to about 60 shots-ish in the BSA Ultra. However, there is a distinction here to be drawn on the capacity of the magazine. In the Ultra, you have a 12-shot magazine. It's not here, it's inside, but you have a 12-shot magazine. And in the RM8, you only have 8 shots. And that's a significant limiting factor for me. I would much prefer it if there was a way of getting a bigger magazine in the RM8. 8 shots is a little limiting. I would prefer more. 12, 10, 14. That would be really nice. The quality of the trigger. The trigger on the RM8 is a plastic affair. The trigger on the Ultra is metal, I think. Yes, it is metal. They both feel of good quality, but for my money, the trigger is better. It feels crisper. It has more adjustability on the BSA Ultra. And I think that having adjustability and crispness on a trigger means that it's going to translate to a better shot because you can be more consistent. I don't think that I have that with the RM8. There's a massive difference in the length of the two guns. As you can see here, almost if I'm strong enough to lift them up, the RM8 is, I would say, 10 to 15% longer than the Ultra. The Ultra, as I've mentioned in previous videos, is very, very easy to hold. I'm just really resting it on my hand here, and it's more or less still. Both guns are very loud without a moderator on, and that's something that I think people would need to consider if they're making a purchase. If you're using it for sporting purposes, you would definitely need a moderator for either of these two guns. They both have quite a snap and quite a bark to them. However, they're both good quality. I've said this a lot, it's very difficult to pick fault in any of the air rifles that we review. They're all so good now, and they all have merits, and they all have things that are superior about each one. And I think I'm going to end this just talking about one of the reasons why I think the Ultra is overlooked. So I said previously that at 40 meters, the Ultra is not as accurate as the RM8, and I think that the data proves that. However, what if that isn't actually what it's intended for? And what I mean by that is, what if we could shoot those flippy targets, i.e. about 2.5 inches, repeatedly at a greater distance? So what you're about to see is me shooting this gun at 50 meters, and I'm going to shoot, I think there's 9 or 8 on the little flippy target thing that I've got, and you can see how consistently I can shoot at 50 meters with this gun at such a small target. Let's look at that data now. There you have it. I am going to make a decision on which one I prefer. And it's very tough because each one of them has respective merits and each one of them has respective shortfalls. If I could only have one of these guns, I think that I would pick the RM8. Only for the reason that I'm very interested in the tiniest groupings that I can get. And I feel like I'm more capable of getting those with the RM8. If, however, and this is a big however, I was more interested in some of the sporting natures of air rifle ownership, I would pick the BSA Ultra every single day of the week. I particularly like how easy it is to use offhand. I'm a fairly big guy, but you can see my hand almost finishes most of the front end stock of the stock of the gun. It's wonderfully easy to use, and that's really attractive. I don't mind that you have to fill it up every roughly 70 shots. I think it looks beautiful. And I know that people are going to be saying, well, you're kind of saying that you like both of them. I do like both of them. That's absolutely correct. If I could only have one, it would be the RM8. I think this looks cool as well. I think that's an amazing looking gun. It's very well engineered. There's been no problems with it yet. And I think that's the last thing that I would just want to talk about briefly. You're going to get different views on different things when you look at the literature that's available online and forums. And I think that this is where buying any gun from a reputable RFD is important. So that if there are any problems with any of the guns that you purchase, you can get them sorted out for free under the warranties that are provided by the RFD you buy the gun from. You're going to hear horror stories about any gun. And the way that you avoid those horror stories is, if they do happen, that you have bought it from a good RFD that can fix any problems for you. And that's why a shop like Crackshot is so good, because they offer a lifetime warranty for the original owner of any gun that you buy new from them. So if that's an RM8 or an Ultra, you're going to be covered. There you go. Being able to show you some of the data in the way that I shoot the guns is very important, and I wanted to share that with you. So over 30 meters, they're kind of the same. Over 40 meters, we begin to see the difference, and that the RM8 is slightly more accurate. But the Ultra has a kind of special ability out at 50 meters. It's very, very consistent in being able to hit the flippy targets. Now, I can't tell you where on the flippy target that I'm hitting, but I think the results speak for themselves. I'm very impressed with how it performed. However, ultimately the decision is up to you. And really the intention behind this video is to better equip you with some further information about the two guns. I can't make the decision for you, but I can provide you with my opinions and some data on what the guns are suitable for and capable of in the hands of a regular person. Any questions would be warmly received. I'll answer all of them personally. and enjoy your shooting. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.